have any superpower, but only one, what would it be?
Mm-hmm. Hear thoughts.
Oh, really? I think I'd be
I
scared.
don't know. I would be scared.
I'm
but
scared of
I would
that.
do better with hearing the thoughts.
Instead of me assuming what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Because I'm a good judge of like body language
Right.
and character. So if I didn't do what they were thinking, instead of like what I'm assuming that they're thinking, I'm like,
Right.
oh yeah, I was right. I was right on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
I'm
that.
easily like bothered, so it probably wouldn't bother me if they were
Okay.
like, oh, you're ugly.
It bothers me.
You have your hair like that.
It hurt my feelings if people ask why I have my hair like this.
Yeah.
All right. So, mobile veterinary clinic.
Yes.
Tell me, when you were getting started, why did you decide, instead of brick and mortar, which is kind of traditional,
Right.
why did you decide to go mobile?
The main reason was I was burning out working in practice. I wanted to still give the same quality care that I knew how to give, but I was losing parts of myself, losing parts of who I was and who I wanted to be. So I wanted to fall back in love with vet med and actually, going back to the root of why I became a vet in the first place.
Okay.
So that's one of the main reasons why I went that route, because of course, less overhead, less stress. I could, design it the way I wanted to with less appointments, more time, versus when I work in practice, you might have a 20-minute, 30-minute visit. You might see the doctor for like 5 minutes, but in this practice, I'm there the whole time. I'm usually there for like 30, 45 minutes versus you only see me for 5.
Right.
So it's definitely more personal type of experience that I like to give.
Gotcha. I like that a lot. You said you could design it how you want, right? And so when I think about mobile vet clinic, obviously it's not this big, huge building with all these different rooms with different equipments and things like that. So like, how do you provide this expert level of care in a mobile capacity?
So I have a full service Mercedes Sprinter van.
Okay.
So it's my little baby.
Yeah.
But it is fully equipped. So we have a surgical suite on there. We have x-ray capabilities. We do have blood machines too. So if they're sick and we need to find out answers right away, we do have blood machines on there as well. A little bit of everything with IV fluids, a little bit of everything that we may need. And I do partner with other professionals that do in-home care. Like if I need abdominal ultrasound, I pair with another doctor to do those things at home. So we can do more advanced diagnostics at their home as well.
Okay. Tell me about, before you got started, like I'm assuming as a vet, I'm assuming you love animals. Yes? Okay. So at what point did you realize I love animals so much that I want to help them? Like what was that like?
Well, I'm the typical vet story. I wanted to be a vet when I was little. So I wanted to be a vet since I was probably about 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's a typical answer, but that's true for me.
Yeah.
I want to be a vet when I was little. I definitely was the one that was trying to fix little baby birds and stuff when I was a kid, trying to help them. And my mom cultivated that and just continued to help nurture all of those aspirations as I got older.
That's cool.
So it went from a love of animals to then it became a love of science. I'm definitely a STEM nerd, so both of those together work well, especially being medical. So as I got older, went to high school, college, she's like, you sure you want to be a vet? You don't have to, just because you've always said it. I'm like, no, there's nothing else I want to do.
Wow. Yeah. It's odd that I sit down with somebody who's like, I've always wanted to do this. And I mean, even myself, like I like being in the marketing industry, right? Like if you'd asked me 30 years ago, that makes me sound old. If you'd asked me 20 years ago, no way I would have said, I would have never guessed it,
Yeah.
Back then, 20 years. What is this, 2004? I mean, I was in finance and banking. That's a completely different world. Like, so I don't know that at 5 or 7 or 10, I had any.
I feel like that's a kid thing. Most kids like, I want to be a vet, But
That's
even
really cool.
Like 5th grade graduation, we just went to like at least 7 kids said, I want to be a veterinarian.
Yeah.
So
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's awesome.
I was like, they're probably going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at them like,
That one's going to do it for sure.
Okay. One of the questions I generally will ask is about like work-life balance. Okay, so when I was, yeah, as an entrepreneur, like it's just tough, right, with work-life balance. But my question for you regarding work-life balance, when I was thinking about this, is usually I'm talking to people who, let's say, are working outside, running a business all day, or they're in an office, all day long, and okay, so long hours. How do you handle work-life balance? But in your case, I realize those things are true, but in some cases, I bet you have days where you're on the road all day.
Yes.
Which is a whole nother level of stress as well. So what is it that you do to unwind after a long day on the road or running your business that helps your work-life balance?
I'm a bodybuilder.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. How long you been doing this?
My first show was in 2021.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So my secondary life is fitness.
It's fitness. Okay. And what's that like every day or?
Usually I try to lift like 5 days a week. But cardio daily is really helpful for me. I can tell the difference of when I don't at least just get up and do just fasted cardio. It just helps kind of start my day off a little bit better versus when I don't do it. So it started just, helping with anxiety and stress just because veterinarians are number one for suicide rates. So I'm very, very careful when it comes to my mental health.
Wow.
So I just try my best to do the things daily to help keep me balanced. And I call it like washing the day, just whatever happened that day, just kind of let it go, move on. And that's what I tell other veterinary professionals that are in the field, like when they're worried about, I can't work, like everything's just always like, you just have to wash the day.
Wash the day away.
Wash the day away, because as things build and build, that's where the anxiety and the stress comes in. And that's what leads to my colleagues, committing suicide because they can't release those things and they just let it keep building inside of them. So I just don't let things build.
Tell me, we're going to come back to this bodybuilding thing, but tell me, I want to go deeper on this. You said it's number one for rates of suicide?
We're up there, like top 3. I don't know what we are exactly, but usually we're like right there, number 1. It's really, it's sad. It is.
That's unfortunate. I would have not known that.
Most people don't think about it like that, but the mental capacity that it takes, especially with, end of life care and all the different things that were thrown at you. Like you might see a cute little puppy, which most people think that's what you're going to see all day long, but that's not the case. So you might see, you have to go from one room where you are seeing a cute little puppy, then the next room you're having to tell a family that their pet is dying.
Yeah.
And then you may have to make that final call, which can be really stressful. When you have, a lot of times we're very empathetic people, which is really, it's great, but then it's not great because we feel a lot.
Yeah.
So when we're in those situations and we're getting attached to our clients and the pets, which is nothing wrong with that, when we get too attached, then we hold on to all those things, all those moments, or when a client is treating you like crap, because we are definitely not the most paid doctor. We're lowest on the pay scale when it comes to doctors,
medicine,
and then we're not usually the most respected. So a lot of times we're getting a little bit of that as well with, other doctors not respecting us, clients not respecting, our title.
The craft, the practice.
So, all of those piled on top of each other. We love our job and we wouldn't have done it, but then all of the factors that we may not have considered when we got into the field play a part.
They play a part. Yeah, I can see that tremendously. And, we had a guy on recently, Adrian Tolentino, shouts out Adrian, and he does like mold remediation. And he talked about how he's with people on the worst day of their lives. Like they got water and mold in their house and stuff like that. And I had never considered that. And I would say maybe not all the time, right? But some of your, do you say patients? Let's say some of your patients and some of your customers, the people, the owners, clients, it's the worst day of their life. Like I got 2 dogs, and when one of them passes, she's 14. So, like, look, I'm getting, it's a lot. Yeah, you're gonna be with these people on the worst day of their life.
For them, and help them understand how to make that choice, because it's a hard decision to make.
Sure. Yeah, I can see. Okay, back to the bodybuilding. So, you a morning workout person or evening workout person?
I wish I was morning because I could get things done and have it out of the way, but I don't like waking up to do it, so that I just try. I'm like, I'll just do it later on. So usually I'll do it in the evening. Okay. So I try my best to adjust my schedule where I can get it done after I'm done with the day.
Wow, and still have enough energy. to do it. I'm a morning guy.
I prefer morning, but I'm
Yeah.
like, nah.
It's tough. It's tough to,
Yeah.
especially like if you get up and you're just not feeling it, it becomes easy to skip, and then that defeats the whole purpose, right? Yeah, there's a local group that works out at F3, they call themselves, and they work out outdoors.
Oh yeah.
And the guy tried to invite me on to come out, and I said, man, I've heard of this. What is it like? 5:30 in the morning? And he goes, no, way after that, man. Or not. What did I say? I said, what is it? 5:30. He goes, oh man, it's not that. It's way after that. It's 5:45. Bro, like there's no way I'm getting up at 5:40. Like,
Once it becomes a habit.
yeah, I know, but like, I wish, I wish I was able to work out in the evening. You said I wish I was morning.
Yeah.
I wish I had enough energy at the end of the day.
It's hard. It's
Harder.
but
That's cool. And so that helps you to feel better. Do you notice? You said since 21. So like, do you notice you feel better?
Yeah, when it falls off, which has fallen off many times, I just don't feel great. I don't feel 100%. I don't give enough to my clients, to my patients.
Oh, sure.
Not mentally like 100.
Mhm.
So it makes a difference,
Okay.
especially when you're helping them make decisions and treatment plans, and
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. I noticed you do a lot of stuff on social media, on your Instagram. It was good stuff. I was watching yesterday, or the day before. Are you also on TikTok?
Yes.
Okay. So I definitely want your thoughts on should they ban? What do you think they should ban TikTok?
No.
Imagine what somebody like a community leader or an activist or anything can do on a platform like that, knowing that it's going to say, hey, your audience is interested in you, you should go live right now.
Yeah.
Well, how much more influence can I gain from my mission that I'm promoting using a platform like TikTok? It's astronomical.
Yeah.
So I hope they don't ban it, but
Yeah.
I hadn't been given it as much time as I should have because it was growing kind of on its own. But
Yeah.
since I've been trying, it's been growing more because I'm like, okay, let me build more on TikTok and see if I see a difference between TikTok and Instagram. And like, I've been leaning more toward TikTok lately.
Yeah. You have a good following on Instagram, though. That's where I consume the content I saw.
But then it fell off because Instagram algorithm changed. So
And it changes a
I
lot.
gave up on I'm like, I never know what they want me to
Why do they keep changing stuff?
so I just like,
I always Zuckerberg always changing the algorithm on us, Okay. So how long you been in business now?
almost 3 years.
Okay. Talk to me about, we talked earlier about like why mobile and why that, right? So you make the decision, I'm going to go into business for myself. I'm going to do this mobile clinic. Talk to me about the first week. What was the first week on the job like?
We were surprisingly more busy than I expected.
Really?
Because I didn't have any appointments, right? Like anything like pre-booked, maybe one
Brand new.
pre-booked. But our first day, we had like an emergency call, like first day.
Really?
Yes. So people were already aware that we were coming because I was posting it on my page. So my page existed before the business did.
Okay.
So my page was already popular. That was intentional. My page was already popular before I started the business. So when I was getting ready to start, I was kind of letting them know like, hey, we're coming soon.
Yeah.
So they already knew I was starting that day.
Nice. And they were ready. Like they were waiting on you, so to speak. That's very cool. Any like pre-game jitters or anything like that?
A little bit. I thought we were
Gonna just have a dry day. Like we're not gonna have any appointments.
Right. Yeah.
That didn't happen. So then that gave us, like, okay, this may.
You got a little something going on here. Okay. That's exciting. I don't think I've ever gotten that answer. It's most people are like, I did paperwork all week and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Right into the fire.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody else that wants to start a business, specifically in the veterinary world, what would you tell them?
Be more open about your market would be my biggest takeaway because I moved here recently from a different area.
Okay.
And I would say don't kind of, for me, mobily, don't kind of focus in on one section of town or one area.
Okay.
Because that may or may not go well depending on what you're trying to bring them.
Yeah.
For us, we had a lot of ups and downs where we were before, but we noticed that we can give more if we market more and tell other areas of town that we're here, so that we're not just in that one spot. Because they kind of took us and were like, you're ours.
Yeah.
You know,
Kind of handcuffed at that point.
yeah, which was
Makes
not
sense.
bad. But then since we were so hyper focused on this one area of town, we forgot about letting other areas know that we wanted to help,
Yeah.
that we're here. So when that area of town kind of fell off, or they, other places opened up, it would just kind of show that they weren't as loyal as we thought they were,
Sure.
which was really sad and disheartening.
Yeah.
But then by the time we tried to, like, hey, let's go tell other areas, we were like, it was a little too late. So we had to make the decision to maybe find a better market for us that was better for us overall, and not just unpredictable.
Gotcha. So open up your market a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
One other question on that before we move on. When you got started, I talk to entrepreneurs every day, all week, right? Men, women. It's a known fact that female entrepreneurs have a more difficult time than male entrepreneurs. So is there anything that you had to go through as a female entrepreneur that you can warn other female entrepreneurs about overcoming?
Well, I was female and definitely African American, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I have two, like, right against me right now.
Right.
So where I was before, I just noticed that I had to be, like, in their face, like, all the time, for them to call, versus me actually working. If I wasn't at every single event or at every single thing, it was like,
Yeah.
So that was a little bit more difficult. And then certain areas of town weren't necessarily the safest, I would say.
Yeah.
So I knew certain areas, if I went out a little too far out in the country, it may not be great. I've had a couple of experience where it was like something tragic, like an end of life, and it got a little weird because the client didn't look at my website. They were referred by another mobile vet for us to help them out because they weren't available. So they just called. They're like, okay. And then I get there, they're like, and it's just it's very known look when you're a black woman.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I didn't expect you to be a black woman today. Like, if you look at my website today.
Yeah.
So it was a little awkward, especially in that, like, end of life moment where they're being a little, like, they were being very nice, and you could tell they were just very
stressed or whatever. But
stressed, which is fine, but it was different. They were just being a little like,
definitely something
I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
So, but knowing me, I'm used to it. Unfortunately, I've grown up in the South, so I'm used to all the different flavors. I went to a predominantly white college for undergrad, and I went to a HBCU, so I literally am grown up in both worlds. So the best thing is I know how to navigate.
That's it.
Regardless of what experiences I've been placed in, I just have to adjust. And instead of me crying about it, I just adjusted to a market that would accept me for who I am, regardless of, what I look like or me being a woman. And I'm very happy with my new market because they have been very, very welcoming. And they don't care what I look like.
That's right.
And sometimes I just have to pivot, and that's what I've done my whole life. So I'm like, okay, just pivot.
I like that answer. Yeah. And when I started at Gento, I oddly enough, though we're a digital agency, I went business to business. Knocking on doors, hey, Mr. Jones, pizza place owner, whatever. I went business to business. And there's some neighborhoods that you gotta watch what you say and what door you walk into. But not letting it get you down. I remember when I was dating my wife, I remember telling her about those experiences, and I'll never forget the statement she said was, "Do you think that are you saying that this game of business is rigged against you?" I said, yes, I do, but I accept it. I'm aware that it's rigged against me, and I'm willing to play the game. So I'm not going to let, you know, somebody say something or do something or act, you know, whatever. I'm just keep fighting because I accept it and I want to play the game. So that's a good answer. Okay. What's the future hold?
Future. I'm on the fence on if I want to do a hybrid, which would be like a brick and mortar and the van. That's always been a thought
Yeah.
in my mind. So it's still a thought. It depends on how the market treats me. And then I'll know if like, okay, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
But this area definitely can use a little bit of new blood because most of the vets around here are a little bit older than me. I say that lightly, but they're older.
Yeah.
But, you know, just a different perspective, someone that can give that high quality care, even in a brick and mortar practice. I would love to expand that thought a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds cool. I think, are you at capacity with the mobile practice?
Well, we just moved here, so we're not at capacity. We're definitely still accepting clients. We moved at a time where people were, I guess, the main driving factor of the community are like snowbirds for sure. So they like flew away, I guess. So we came at that time, which is actually good because we're still getting to know the area. We're still riding around, trying to learn.
Yeah.
So it works out for us that we can, you know, kind of get to know the area a little bit better.
And helpful.
So by the time things start to pick back up in August, September, we'll be more prepared. And I'm pretty sure that's probably what's going to happen. So we're just taking our time, like, okay, so we'll be ready for it.
Yeah. It used to be, I've been down about 20 years.
Okay.
And it used to be at Easter, the very next Monday, the roads were like clear. It was insane. It was like not quite clear to like during the COVID days when like nobody was on the road, but close. Like everybody just took off and they went back up north. Fantastic for people that lived here. And then August, September, you'd see the traffic pick up. You're like, okay, the snowbirds are back. Also our healthcare clients, they would tell us, hey, like we're getting less patients this time of the year. Since COVID, the last 3 years, that hasn't happened. There's been no lull or break or anything. But I have noticed traffic in the last 2-ish weeks has been a little bit less, a little bit easier. School gets out this week, so we'll see if that continues. And then that'll answer, the snowbirds are actually gone for the first time in 3 years. We love y'all, snowbirds. Keep coming back.
Yeah.
but yeah, like,
I can tell they stimulate the economy for the business that are here.
Yeah.
So the one that may want to call it, I have to wait until my business picks back up. So, you know,
but
we just got here. We've only been here since March.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I've seen y'all at a couple of events and doing a good job. So keep doing that stuff. And okay, how do people get in touch with you?
You can follow me on all platforms. I am Ask Dr. Donita on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or my website as well, askdrdonita.com. We are accepting clients and patients, so just let us know.
That sounds good. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Okay.
Hi.
Good stuff. Let's get
Good.